Hi everybody. This is Late Night Gaming Thought with the Midnight Crew. I'm Nordy J.
I'm Brian.
Joe. And I'm Tito.
And tonight's topic is one near and dear to Brian's heart in particular. Brian, why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about?
All right. So, I'm going to tell you guys a little story because I had this thought recently.
Everyone gather around Brian. Sit down on your special reading mat.
Fireside chats with Uncle Brian.
It's funny because I'm named for my uncle, so that's weird. But no. So, I realized recently something. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate Skyrim. I hate how dumbed down it is compared to the previous Elder Scrolls games. I hate how little Bethesda patched it. I hate how much they rely on their community to fix their games for them. I hate how boring the world has become since Morrowind. So needless to say, I have 300 hours logged in the game. And why is this? That's our topic for tonight. Why do people love these games so much, even if people can pinpoint the objective reasons for what is wrong with them? Why do we still love them? Why do they keep us coming back?
Now,
It's like that one girlfriend.
To specify,
I leave again and again, but no, you draw me back.
to specify, you're not talking about just Elder Scrolls games,
No.
right?
No.
Okay.
I am specifically speaking of the Elder Scrolls games and the Fallout games in particular, but this also applies to other Bethesda properties, but less so. So let's, Dishonored and such.
Rage.
Rage as well.
Yeah.
So it's similar formulas. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Some of the gameplay elements, some of the even community elements, because it's obviously a lot of people enjoy these games.
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda is one of the biggest names in the industry now, and so it's just really interesting because objectively, they're not that great at their jobs.
Yeah. I mean, well, they have a very good starting point.
Yes.
And when they release the game, it's good, but as time progresses, you do expect dragons shouldn't be flying backwards all the time, and farting fire as opposed to breathing fire. But they lack the follow through.
And why is that Brotherhood of Steel members stuck in the wall? Why are they all stuck in the walls? Can I still do the Brotherhood of Steel quest with them stuck in the wall? Nope. Okay, last save. Let's go, reload.
Would you say that the reason for Skyrim's success is foggy? View fog?
Yes, I get it.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
There was an angry glare in that silence, listeners.
Did not pick up on it. Did not pick up on it at all.
Yeah. I haven't had much experience with Oblivion or Morrowind. I had friends who played it. I watched them play it. It looked like a lot of fun. I just never had the good graces. The closest I ever got was the Skyrim DLC, Dawnguard DLC, when you could talk to one of the first characters you meet in Oblivion, I believe.
I don't know about Oblivion. Full disclaimer, I've only played Oblivion for a little bit, and I really didn't enjoy it. But I have extensive experience with Morrowind and Skyrim.
Right.
But yes, I think you're talking about
Jeb or
Giab, yeah.
Giab.
In the Soul Cairn.
Right. Yeah.
I remember
talking to him a whole lot.
Yeah, he was the first character you meet in Morrowind. He's on the same prison boat as you.
Right, yeah, and I believe that he actually becomes like a saint or something.
Yeah, because he drives the cliff racers out of Morrowind.
Wait, right. What?
And if you
really?
Yeah, and if you play Morrowind, you know why that's worthy of sainthood. Because goddamn are cliff racers annoying.
Well, I don't know what a cliff racer is.
They're like giant bats with razor-sharp beaks. And they're everywhere. Minox, but bigger. Like bear-sized Minox.
They got some big Minox.
Kind of like racks?
Yeah, that's a very good comparison. Because
yeah, let's go with that.
I'm glad we've used several games and. Where did your reference come from?
Minox are from Star Wars.
So we all have used pretty well-known series to some of these up. So everyone has one of those.
Angry, annoying space bats. Yes, they're in every game.
Face suckers with wings.
Oh God.
Yeah, pretty much. That is the right reaction after
Mhm.
that.
No, but I think that we should talk about some of like the gameplay
Yes.
mechanics of Bethesda, which is generally first person. You can go third person, but something that I always notice when I'm playing Bethesda games is like how much you actually realize that you're like walking and you're actually like a moving person. You know, it's like a realism in a world that is not very real.
Yeah.
It's like you have like the sway when you walk. You get that more even in Rage, which I played a good like 2/3 of. But like when you're running, you sway back and forth. It's almost like dizzying to some point, especially in Rage. Not so much in Skyrim and Fallout, but
Well, in Rage, didn't they have like a really good water mechanic for like when you walked through like falling water or something, where it looked really good compared to even the rest of the graphics in the game?
yeah, water. I think in that game was pretty well put together. I'm trying to remember water from Skyrim and Fallout.
Kind of underwhelming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, because like fish kind of just looked like
Fish are barely 3D in Skyrim.
Oh yeah, no, it's like you're watching. It's like it's like one step up from the aquarium screensavers on 98.
Yep. Basically cardboard cutouts.
I remember seeing someone with a glitch. Well, not a glitch, but it was more, I guess, like I don't even really know how to describe it, but like
Texture error?
no. It was like a guard was attacking a fish for attacking it.
Oh, right, yeah. The guard was attacking the slaughterfish.
Right, because it attacked him.
Or it was trying to arrest the slaughterfish.
Yeah, that'll work.
Which works great because in Skyrim you can't, fight in water.
Oh no,
Which is a massive complaint for me because you could in Morrowind.
really.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Even just like magic stuff.
Nope. Yep. Nothing.
That would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have I can't. Oh yeah, you kind of have a breathing meter, don't you? It's stamina, right?
I don't. It doesn't come from your stamina. I don't think.
It's just your health.
it's-
It's separate.
Like I think there's like an invisible one. There isn't one that like comes up on the screen. But
Right.
at some point your health starts going down.
True. Okay, we should actually like organize like how we're
Yes.
gonna speak about this. So I think that I was trying to talk about gameplay mechanics before, but let's go around and say like what's some of our favorite parts of the gameplay that really make Bethesda games interesting and what's the word I'm looking for? Compelling.
Well, I think probably the most obvious thing, and again, it doesn't go for all their games, but for the ones that people are really excited about, like Elder Scrolls and Fallouts and Rage as well.
Dishonored.
Dishonored does not apply. I don't think. I have not played Dishonored, so disclaimer. Is the open world element.
Yeah.
It doesn't really apply to Dishonored.
Yeah. I think that resonates with a lot of people. There's a lot. I remember when Skyrim came out reading a Cracked article. And it was something along the lines of 5 reasons Skyrim proves I'd be a horrible fantasy hero.
Yes. I remember that article. Actually.
And one of the reasons was I don't really want to get anything heroic done. Like,
Well,
the main...
wasn't that by Dan O'Brien, I think?
It might have been.
Like, I just want to sit there and organize
I like
books.
Dan O'Brien.
Yeah, I just want to sit there and organize books and go in this cave and, yeah, I know a dragon's attacking Whiterun, but I've got some other stuff to do. But, yeah, a lot of people enjoy that feeling of freedom, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and there are other big games that are really market on that, like GTA 5. Has like one of the biggest in-world maps of I think it's definitely bigger than previous GTA games, like by far. Like I think it's like 3 times the size of 4, and San Andreas is like just like because it's in the same area, you can go to San Andreas in 5, but it's like a tiny like chunk of the
little
map.
dot of the map.
Exactly, but like yeah, I mean it's a mechanic that a lot of people are using, and if you get it right, it's phenomenal. It's just it makes you feel like you have that much more opportunities in what you're doing.
Well, tying in with that, my stake is that it doesn't even particularly matter about the open worldliness, although that does help with what they're doing. But I think it factors more in with the world building that they do, with building, in the case of Fallout and the Elder Scrolls worlds, these just extensive backstories where all of this stuff has happened and you hear about it secondhand, or in Skyrim's case through books and manuscripts and all of these things. And it's just, I mean, it's why I couldn't keep playing Skyrim, because I would try to read every time I picked up a book.
Yeah, those books are like super in depth. I mean, you could just lose yourself in that. Like,
Well, yeah,
easily. Like, as if this open world isn't, enough,
I can just get lost reading all 20 plus tomes of one story that they have.
The real Baron Zaya. Not the... There's mods to restore what was censored out of that.
Oh, really?
There's a whole section where, for those of you not familiar, Baron Zaya was the queen of, at different times, Morrowind and Daggerfall. And in her youth, she had these whole, escapades with a band of thieves. And there's one section where it's, right after she's had sex, and she's complaining to the guy, because the guy's a Khajiit. And so, in reality, biologically, as well as in the Elder Scrolls games,
Thorny.
cats
Thorny
have
penis.
barbed dicks.
Yep.
So that section was...
I saw that as soon as you said Khajiit. I'm like, yes, thorny penis.
Yep. That section was cut out of
What was
Skyrim.
What was cut out of what?
That section of the book was cut out of... It was actually first cut out in Morrowind. They had a little text saying that it was censored by the temple. Little disclaimer at the beginning.
That's funny. Yeah, because I remember reading a few books in that. I don't remember if you had to. There's a book that I always came across. Whenever you got comment, it was the cookbook in Skyrim. That's super important.
Yeah.
It's only in one mission, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but
it's part of the Dark Brotherhood mission, but you find it in a couple of places.
You find a bunch of the. I don't remember what the cook's name is.
The cook's name is the Gourmet.
The Gourmet. Yeah, that's right.
But
I think
his book is called Uncommon Taste.
Right, and because it's about, I think you cook humans in it or something. Nope.
Is it?
Maybe I'm thinking of Fallout.
Yeah, I haven't actually read Uncommon Taste. I just kind of did them. It wasn't really one of those interesting things to me.
Because I think you meet the...
Oh yeah, you kill the Gourmet.
Yeah.
And take his place and kill the Emperor.
Yeah, okay. I remember that. Yeah. So books.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, everybody. It's been 2 years, people.
I'm joking.
If you haven't played Skyrim, you should probably reevaluate your life choices.
Well, I had to stop playing because I realized I would get sucked up in the minutia of, oh my god, I don't have this one copy of the book, but I have all of these other copies. I need to go sell all of these other copies and go pick up the one book I don't have. Instead of actually progressing and doing useful things, I would spend my life cataloging, which is not something I need to do any more than I already do.
Just dedicate your real life to doing fun, interesting things, and then Skyrim
to being a librarian.
Yeah. It's like Minecraft, except with more options for organization.
And then the bookshelves only hold 11
So
books
many
with 11 books without mods.
So,
Gotta get that 2x1
well,
chest.
I believe that my favorite aspect or gameplay part of these Bethesda games would be the number of quests and the extreme detail that they put into each of these quests. And I particularly like the factions and their storylines better than like the main storyline itself. Like
Always.
the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild. I felt like they had stronger
Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah, like they definitely had like stronger aspects of storyline, and just I felt more like involved in it. I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, 'cause, like, Skyrim is probably one of the best examples for that because, the main quest in Skyrim was a little underwhelming.
I did not enjoy the main quest as much as I did the factions quest line.
Right, like,
It had a few little nuggets for lore nuts like me, but otherwise it was pretty boring.
Especially
Like,
that final like that boss fight at the end. You're just like, the hell is this? This is the same shit I've been doing the whole game.
Oh, I have to fight a dragon.
yeah, but I mean, like, some of the nuggets that I remember from the main quest were, we're looking through the, the actual Elder Scroll, which was fantastic. I thought that was super interesting.
Mhm.
And really opens up that whole theory that you were talking about, I believe last week with, with how, like, Parthenux is like time, is, like, one with time because he's, yeah.
So after we didn't discuss this actually during the podcast.
No,
did
we didn't.
This was after when I start.
When
This
he
is-
proposed
while
this
we-
topic.
Okay, well while we're currently recording this, we're not releasing these concurrent with as we're recording them, so this is you guys aren't going to hear this for probably a few weeks. But the last week while we were recording, I had just read Michael Kirkbride's Coda, which is the theoretical end to the Elder Scrolls universe. And so we were talking about all the lore and stuff, and I brought up how, like, basically to not take you listeners through the winding trail of bullshit I took these guys through, the Dragonborn.
Winding slope.
Yes. The Dragonborn and Alduin are the same person, because...
Oh, Alduin.
Yeah.
Not
Mhm.
Parthenux.
I was wondering about
I
that.
goofed.
No, Parthenax is a regular dragon, who is, in fact, you just said one with time. Dragons are, like, non-linear fragments of time.
So I was kind of right.
Yes, basically.
Yes.
But yeah, the
You could have
Dragonborn
said
and
anybody's
Alduin...
name and been right.
The Dragonborn and Alduin are aspects of a schizophrenic god that hates itself. Oh,
The other one.
Alduin is Akatosh. They're kind of the same thing. Not really, but yes.
Cool. I remember.
Anyway,
stuff.
side faction. No, like, side factions are just absolute. I mean, sorry. Because we, again.
We're going to give him an episode whenever they release something, but to just talk about the lore. Don't worry, everyone. You'll get to hear
Yeah.
the rest of his theories and stories.
You
and
won't
what
get
have
the
you.
spiel.
I have so
that-
much more spiel than even you guys have
That'll
heard.
be a 2-hour episode for those of you who care.
I'm trying to remember some of the side quests, like, because we're talking about side quests in Skyrim, but, like, you mentioned Brotherhood of Steel.
I'm thinking also of the vampire colony place in Fallout 3.
Vampire colony?
Vampire.
Oh, was it
Are you
vampire
talking about
or
ghouls?
cannibals? No.
I feel like it
No.
might have been cannibals.
No. It's the one where
I haven't played far into
it's
Fallout
the,
3.
It's the one
I'm a
in
New Vegas guy.
It's the one where in Megaton you meet this this young woman and she's like, "Hey, deliver this letter to my family," and you go all the way across the world to this like settlement on a bridge, and you find like
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, well,
Right.
and the
Okay.
boy is like in the subway with the group of people who I thought were vampires but might not be. They might be.
It wasn't the
cannibals.
underworld, was it?
I don't think so. No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't ghouls.
It's been so long since I played Fallout 3 that I
Like,
can't really
I'll look it
recall
up. You all
this.
keep talking. I'll interrupt you in like.
All
10
right.
minutes.
Well, yeah, on the subject of like, I completely agree with Tito here
Oh,
that, like, the majority of the time, the, like, faction missions and the side quests are, much more compelling. For example, in Skyrim, I was, for a while, this was on my first playthrough, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in the Civil War quests right now.
Right.
But I'll probably end up going Imperial, because why would an Argonian join the Stormcloaks? And then I played through the Dark Brotherhood storyline. and without revealing any more spoilers, at the end of that, I was just like, the Empire can go fuck itself.
Oh yeah. I know. I totally know what you're talking
And that's
about.
why I joined up with the Stormcloaks.
Oh, Astrid. Understandable. Oh yeah, I remember one of the first times that me, you, and Nordy J were talking. We were talking. Well, we had a big debate
About the Civil War.
about the Civil War, which I can understand. I mean, I can understand what side you're coming from, but I mean, both of them are really. Granted, it's definitely a murky area, which is great, which is really fantastic for writing. Especially.
I really enjoy the Imperial side. My first playthrough, I played on the side of the Stormcloaks, but then my friend pointed out to me that there's this one note that can be found that says that Ulfric's Stormcloak actually is
One
giving.
Yeah.
Is what?
No, go ahead.
Is like giving information to the Thalmar, or the Almiri Dominion. So like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I really have to reevaluate what I did here. So my second playthrough, I played on the Imperials, and I really felt like they were justified in an aspect. I don't know. I enjoyed their side better after hearing about like the little like betrayal there.
The Imperials definitely have a cooler ending to that quest.
Oh no, definitely, yeah.
Because I'm not really giving a spoiler here because of course you're gonna kill Ulfric at the end of the quest.
Right, of course. Oh yeah.
And what he says at the end, screw it, I'm gonna spoil it. It came out in 2011, people. What he says at the end, Tullius is like, any last words before I kill you? And Ulfric says, let the Dragonborn kill me, it'll make for a better song. And I'm like, that's why I love this character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely really cool. I also sided with the Imperials. It's because the whole city is like destroyed afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't think it ever like there are definitely still parts of the city that are still like destroyed like even after.
Oh
that.
yeah, you were talking the Battle of Whiterun, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that happens on both sides.
Wait, so what?
It does.
What happens if you didn't go through the main storyline at first, and you just go through? Can you do this? Like, can you just go through the Civil War line quest before you get the Dragon Shot, or like?
Oh yeah,
Can you do that, or?
Yes, definitely.
So like, what does Ulfric say then? It's like, let him kill me. I have no reason. But let him kill me, because he's not the Dragonborn yet.
I didn't think. I thought you were talking about like the Landsmeet and stuff.
No. I was just curious. I think
I never did.
I have a feeling that they might like wall off some part of the Civil War until you like get this further along the main quest. But I'm not sure because like, what would Ulfric say in that point?
I'm not sure.
Just a weird.
Maybe
thought.
just let him.
You're gonna make me go home and start a new save, aren't you?
It wasn't my intention, but if you'll do the research for us, then we'll be grateful.
I have the answer. The mission is called Blood Ties. It basically boils down to we're both right. They're cannibals, however, their leader tries to corral them and control their urges by having them just drink human blood, akin to vampires.
This is back to Fallout, by the way.
Yes, this is back to Fallout. Sorry, everyone. I've been distracted by
As opposed to Skyrim, in which, there are vampires.
Right.
Yeah, well. Dawnguard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, oh, jeez. Serena.
Did you say Saren?
Serena?
Oh, Saren.
Serana is how I pronounce it.
Whatever.
I think that's
Serena
right.
Williams.
Close enough. She beats shit.
Alright.
No, I'd have to say my favorite part about Bethesda games is, definitely would have to go with Perk Tree. It's just a nice customization of your character, that you don't usually get in a game that's so action-based,
Mhm.
Like, usually those are left to games that are turn-based, or you don't even have, like, that much, like, that you don't have that much of a grasp on it, There are games like Borderlands, like, yeah, sure, it's,
Yeah, like, my skill with pistols went up, but that just means I do a little bit more damage, nothing much changes.
Right, but, like, and you can, oh, geez, what is something else? Like, I'm gonna go back to Kingdom Hearts, personally, because like Kingdom Hearts you can have different
Mhm.
keyblades and you can assign like more defense or attack or
Yeah.
magic on people, but like
The core gameplay doesn't change as much.
not that much. But like the thing is with Skyrim and Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like you can change basically like how you approach situations and how situations turn out like that much more in those games, like
Much more so in Fallout than Skyrim, I think.
Yeah.
But
well, there's speech stuff,
One thing
speech,
about
Right.
barter,
right, yeah,
sneak.
yeah.
I think Sneak's
Sneak
pretty
is so
Well,
OP
but
in
I
Skyrim.
think that the reason for that might even go back to the fact that Fallout 3 is a Fallout game, and if people don't remember, the original Fallout games
Did, in
were
fact.
turn-based RPGs, if I'm not mistaken.
They were.
I'm
I
pretty
can't remember.
sure.
I don't think they're turn-based. I could be wrong though. I've only played a bit of Fallout 1. But they are definitely isometric RPGs.
Right.
And so yes, they were much like Fallout. For a kind of FPS RPG, is pretty like number crunchy for the modern genre. But yeah, old Fallout was really number crunchy,
Right.
which I love, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't.
One thing I enjoy about like Joe said about the perk tree thing is how immersive it was in Fallout 3, where you had like the
It is
wrist thing.
turn-based, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank at what that is, like, but that wrist thing that
The
shows you
Pip-Boy.
like,
Pip-Boy.
Pip-Boy.
yeah.
2000.
Well, I love how that you see that and that like you can adjust your like perks through that rather than you staring up at the constellations, somehow magically being able to.
To be fair,
A
he
Change
is
bit
the
more
Dragonborn.
immersive in
To be fair,
Fallout
he
than
is the
Skyrim.
Dragonborn.
Yeah. Yes, but I don't think that would.
But no, I'm not going to disagree with you. And I was right. I think I told Brian already, but Fallout 1 and 2 were turn-based
Yeah.
RPGs.
Well, you didn't. Well, what might be better than looking up into the constellations or even looking at your Pip-Boy?
What?
Is looking at your upgraded Pip-Boy, the Pimp Boy. Anybody? No, nobody got the
No
Pimp Boy.
takers.
Hopefully we cut that out. Okay, guys. So,
No, that's a real thing.
Extensive-
is?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Definitely. I
Now,
think-
note that I have not played
Is it
far into
pur-
Fallout 3.
Is it purple,
I'm a New
and
Vegas.
do I have to wear a large feathered hat?
Yeah,
you
you
have to.
it's
That's
the
a bonus.
Pimp Boy 3 billion.
That's
Is that in
That
Fallout
is- that
3?
can
Yeah,
happen.
it's
Over
in-
9,000, right?
It's the Fallout New Vegas unique clothing.
Wait,
you gotta
what?
be kidding me.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
thing?
not kidding you. It's golden.
I have played a shit ton
Look,
of New Vegas, and I've never heard
the
of this.
Pimp Boy 3 billion. I told you.
Oh my god.
This seems.
Location.
Oh, it's Mick and Ralph's.
As an unmarked crest discovered.
The Omertas.
What?
I told you.
It's official. It's on the Fallout wiki, guys.
Well, look at that.
Well,
damn.
If you have the Wild Wasteland trait, disco music will be played upon equipping the Pimp Boy.
Oh
It's
my
getting more
God,
and more
yes.
outlandish, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's the
Damn.
Have you ever played with the Wild Wasteland trait? I have
Is
played.
that
the
that
one-
was actually I played my first playthrough with
Is
it.
that the
Um,
one with the aliens and stuff happen?
Oh,
in
the
that?
aliens happen without Wild
Yeah.
Wasteland.
Yeah.
No. No, not aliens. I'm thinking of like the strange happenings, like
Right, yeah.
the
That's
fridge,
what the
the fridge,
the
in the desert.
fridge. The there's a I think there's a
There's an unexploded atom bomb, like, north of Vegas.
yeah there's a there's something really close to the fridge actually. If you climb up that mountain that's kind of close to it, there's a guy sitting on there's a skeleton sitting on a beach chair
Mhm.
with a bunch of pool balls near him, and like you can get like a nice gun from there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going to say. Okay, so...
That's also something that I really like about Bethesda games. They have like nice little
In jokes.
in jokes and just like crazy little stuff. They
Mhm.
just include little things. Like I remember in one of the original Fallouts, I think it was Fallout 2. Like they have the TARDIS.
Yeah, the TARDIS shows up at, like, it's, I don't know, on a random dice roll or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TARDIS shows up and shoots your enemies, like...
What?
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah,
like how like that
just kind of
mysteri-
swoops
you
down
mean
out
like
of
how
the
the
sky.
mysterious stranger kind of does that, or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
Kind
that's the
of.
mysterious stranger.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's just, like, little tiny jokes like that, or I think, I think that I also just love the writing behind Fallout and Skyrim. It's just amazing, because, it incorporates that great amount of, the lore that you're talking about, which I think you said the guy who wrote the, Coda wrote a lot of the lore for
Yes.
the Elder Scrolls.
Mhm.
You know, and just like how in depth they go. Truly, you know, Fallout like not so much because it's less. It lends itself less to lore, I guess.
But they had
But it's still
Liam
got a
Neeson.
decent
But,
amount.
oh yeah, no,
But
absolutely.
they had Liam Neeson.
Well, that's
True.
true. Well, I mean, they also had what's her name? The red hair.
I don't think you're hearing me.
Oh,
but they had Liam Neeson.
Yeah, we got it, man. And now I can't remember. What am I doing?
Start with a V. No,
That's her character.
That's her character.
We're talking about Veronica. Felicia Day.
Felicia Day.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm drawing a blank
no,
a lot
I forget.
tonight.
I forget words all the
You're
time.
like me last week.
Yes, a lot. It's not like I don't know these names, folks.
We promise. We're not stupid. Most of the time. Mostly.
Mostly.
For a second, I thought you were going to say
80%
most
of
us
the
and then
time.
just like look at me, but okay.
But yeah, no, I do like the lore, and I do like the just the little you know. little
Depending on, what you're talking about, there's a lot in the games that can be kind of dismissed due to laziness, like bad coding and stuff, and
The fog.
the fog. Yep.
I don't even know what that's referring to. What is that?
The view fog from Skyrim. If you go to, say, the top of a mountain, everything is foggy, and they do that to get away with not having to render anything.
Now, I believe
Oh.
that actually might be a console exclusive issue because
Really?
I've never had to deal with it on PC.
Huh.
So yeah. But also,
PC gaming elitist for the win?
wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't
was
go
about
that
to.
far.
I was about to say I wouldn't call myself an elitist, but that's a complete lie.
Accept yourself, brother.
I'm a
I've
come
trapped
clean.
you.
But yeah. But also, there's some lazy things going on, but I think there's also a lot of love going into these
Oh,
games.
absolutely. I mean, I think that if the time that I've had playing those games are just amazing. I don't spend 150 hours on any kind of game.
Mhm.
I don't spend 150 hours on any kind of game.
On-
150 hours is that like a week? I'm relatively certain.
150 hours is like more time than I've spent in college classes thus far, probably.
Probably.
You said 150 hours?
Yeah, it's like
That's
6 days. and some.
6.25 days.
Right.
And I have twice that much in Skyrim. I have almost 2 weeks of playing Skyrim.
Right.
I mean, I have a week. By this math, I have a week playing Civ 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least a week. Probably a little more.
Well, that's the long game though.
Well, yes, I think each one of my games takes 10 hours because world domination is so much more fun than any other way of taking over the world. But
right.
I digress.
But just, I mean, not a lot of people spend that much time on a game, and I would not call myself like a hardcore gamer, or I wouldn't even call. I mean, but I definitely wouldn't call myself a casual gamer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Middling gamer.
yeah, and 150 hours for someone at my level is a lot. I'm like games that I don't have any games that rival that. Like maybe Grand Theft Auto, maybe because
it
you
will.
play a
it
lot
will
of
one day.
you
It
play a
will
lot
one
of
day.
you dick around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Auto. I have my fair share of dicking around, but it's a magical experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter whether you're murdering basically undead corpses or just destroying dragons or
Well,
Man.
becoming the
just-
president of the Mages Guild, whatever. I don't know. That's
College.
not right.
Archmage.
Archmage of the College.
Yeah.
College of Winterhold.
Yeah, that was the first mission I did actually.
That was a good choice.
Man, overall, I'm not too hot on that one, but there were moments in
One
that
thing I
that
wanted-
quest in particular.
One thing I
Sure.
wanted to be explained was there's mystical branch of mages. I have no
the
idea.
Sijiks.
Yeah, I wanted that to be
Oh,
explained more. For
yeah.
you to be introduced to them
All right.
rather than the one dude.
Do you want to go
Gather
lore nut
round,
right
children.
now?
Okay.
All right.
His hair turned yellow. He's over 9,000.
Shut up. Shut up. Okay. So I'm going to attempt to explain the Sijic endeavor.
You have 5 minutes. Go.
Oh, Jesus.
I regret this already. Let's hear it.
You have 5 minutes. Let's go.
All right, to be quick, the Sijics were among the first mages to ever exist. They were they are, I believe, entirely high elves. And they came about right before the first Aldmeri Dominion. And if you guys don't know, the Aldmeri Dominion you're fighting against in Skyrim is the second one. The Second Reich, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were gonna say third, but go on.
No, yes, they're,
Well,
big yellow Nazis.
There are definitely Stormcloak Nazi, references.
Well, yes, but not as much as the Thalmor.
Right.
With the secret police and
Oh
everything.
God.
Secret police persecuting a religious minority.
True.
Yeah. But anyway, so their whole deal is the Sijic Endeavor, which is a way of attaining godhood.
Oh yeah.
They want to replicate, some of the first elves tried to attain godhood by building towers.
Babel.
Yes, basically, the Tower of Babel. There are several of these. There are 8 total in the Elder Scrolls universe, some made by elves, some just forming naturally. For example, the Throat of the World in Skyrim is a tower. And so basically, this is not my area of expertise in the lore, but basically, using magic and enlightenment, you can use the towers to achieve godhood. That's what the Sijics want to do. And so they basically fucked off once the first Aldmeri Dominion came to power, because they're not all about that fanaticism and stuff and regimented ruling and stuff. They're just like, hell yeah, we're gonna do magic and become gods. But so, fun note there, that segues into some of the super crazy lore that I'll be quick with. Nordy J is making a face.
You're getting a whole episode for this.
Is so the Eye of Magnus in that quest.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
We
was
discussed
that a
this
staff?
last time, didn't we? No, the Staff of Magnus you got and had to use on the Eye of Magnus.
Right. Yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
stop
Because
its
you had to
power.
fight the one of the teachers at
Yeah,
the college.
What's his face? Ankano.
Was he?
He was a Thalmor agent.
He was
yeah.
a Thalmor. Yeah. Was he a high elf?
Yeah.
He was a dick.
He was.
Well, definitely.
So basically, what some recently released, it's a 8-page graphic novel.
Only 8 pages.
It's barely. It's like eight separate illustrations and some text on the side.
Oh.
So basically, the Eye of Magnus was like a containing module for a robot from the future that and then when you give the Eye of Magnus to the Sijics at the end of the quest, they take it back in time to before the first Aldmeri Dominion and make the robot inside look like a high elf, who then becomes the queen of the high elves in the Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was looking on here right now at the Aldmeri Dominions, and you can join apparently a faction of
Yep.
the first Aldmeri Dominion in Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep. I have my own problems with the factions in the Elder Scrolls Online.
Do you have Elder Scrolls Online?
I played the beta, and that's enough for me.
Is Elder Scrolls Online out? Or no?
It's currently... I don't think it's an open beta, but it's coming out soon, and it's a much wider beta right now.
Yeah, it's got an interesting. It's got some interesting things about it because it's cross-platform. I'm pretty sure too. I was talking to someone at GameStop the other day, and apparently if you're playing, well, number one, you can get it for console.
Yep. Which is a big thing.
Which is crazy for what seems to be an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna open up that market to a lot of other people too. It's cross-platform, so you can play with people on your PS4 who have the Xbox One, or I don't know about computer yet.
I'm not sure. This
That'd be-
deserves further research, listeners. But yeah. Other than, like, the Aldmeri Dominion makes sense in the Elder Scrolls Online, because it was actually a political entity. But, like, the Ebonheart Pact and the Daggerfall Alliance, that are the other two factions, I don't get, like, you know, the Nords, Dark Elves, and Argonians joining up especially, because, you know, the Dark Elves have been warring against the Nords and enslaving the Argonians for, like, centuries. And then, at least by the time of Morrowind, they have been back at slaving the Argonians for a few centuries.
Wow.
So it's just this random period of, oh, we're suddenly friends.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So,
we're
yeah.
friends when it's beneficial. I'm getting a lot of, well, at least, like, because I'm looking into this now, I'm getting a lot of, like, almost, like, nationality, nation-state kind of parallels in this, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
There's a lot.
Like, kind of, like, reminding me of, like, 19th and 20th century, like, nationalism and countries and feuding and stuff from this. But, what I wanted to ask, more importantly, though, is, when does online take place? Like, what?
The Second Era. So, Elder Scrolls 1 through 4, Arena through Oblivion, is the Third Era. Skyrim's in the Fourth Era, 200 years later.
Oh, okay.
And online is the Second Era, like, way a while back. Before Tiber Septim.
So is this, like, one of the first chronological ones?
Yes, it's definitely the first chronological one.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
But we should get back on topic.
That's what I've been, sort of just making gestures for and sighing.
Getting red in
silently.
the face.
I was just sort of chuckling after a certain point, but yes, we should get back to, the topic at hand.
All right, here's my suggestion for
Well,
another reason.
Obviously for Brian, it's partially
It's a
about
lot.
the lore. Partially.
God, I love the lore, you guys.
I love the lore too, and I think
I
that's
love
why.
the lore axe. Save the trees.
Yeah.
2014.
All right, Joe. But I agree with you, and I think that the world building in general is why they're so successful. But
Save
my
the
God,
trees.
we're going to give you an episode for the lore.
All right. I'm gonna shut up now. So here's another big thing that I think might actually be
Related?
well, yes, related. Might actually be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, reason why Bethesda games are so huge. The modding community.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yep.
I'm partial to the Minecraft mod that allows me to ride a pig.
This is something that's kind of left out for some of us because I'm not a PC player. Now, that doesn't mean that modding isn't important because I feel like as opposed to necessarily selling the games, it keeps people talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps it pertinent. It keeps it
Like, even the people who
The
aren't...
longevity is definitely like raised.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Even the people who aren't, involved in the modding communities at all, like, you guys still hear about the big mods getting released.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, even if you don't know what it is, the name Folksar, like, rings a bell
Yep.
to you.
Mm-hmm. And the Minecraft one, I mean, I don't play on PC either, but I understand that that's a thing, and I think it's amazing that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
the horse butthole mod.
Ah, yes, that one.
Yes, that by that one I mean there's probably at least 5.
No, I think there's only one horse butthole mod.
There's one
but-
solid one.
And it was one of the first mods released.
Like people
Like, first we got the naked female mod. Then we got, I think killable children. And then we got horse buttholes.
Are you speaking from experience, Brian?
No
Okay.
comment.
No.
Oh,
like-
please, I don't use the first, female nudity mod released.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
One of my favorite mods has to be one of the companion mods, which is it added a companion named Hoth,
Hoth
the
is
game,
pretty cool.
who's like has like actual voice acting, which sounds like it's professionally done, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He has the coolest armor where it shows like him like just covered in armor full of bones of all like his kills. It just it's really epic. Like he gives you quests. I just really enjoy like the amount of depth that they add to the game, as if it was actually made by like Bethesda or something like that, as if it was actually meant for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Is he from the ice planet?
No, I actually, whenever I saw the title of it, I was really confused.
Yeah, I
so-
was like when it first came up on the Skyrim Nexus like hot files, I was like, did someone make like a Planet Hoth world space? Because if so, I'm excited. And then I was kind of disappointed.
Well,
But it was still an awesome mod.
I mean, to be fair, there is a person named Hoth in Star Wars. So
Wait, really?
yeah,
What?
back in no shit, Nordy J's lore time.
I guess it's only fair.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
no,
gonna have
and
I'm gonna add another bleep.
thank you. But no, mine's gonna be much shorter. It just boils down to in the time of Darth Bane, there, and the Dark Brotherhood. Was it the Dark Brotherhood?
I think it might have been called something else, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the Council of the Sith.
Well, yeah, the Sith Council. I think it might have been Dark Brotherhood, which is kind of interesting. And I feel bad because I should know this off the top of my head.
Come
But
on, man, it's
anyway-
your lore time.
Yes, it is my lore time. I know. He had some weaknesses too. This isn't my expertise of lore. But anyway, it boils down to they had Lord Khan on one side, and he was the Dark Brotherhood's dude, and leading the Jedi's army of light was Lord Hoth. And he was this charismatic, pretty cool dude, fought really well, battle meditation master.
Mm-hmm.
No idea if he bears any resemblance to the character that you're talking about.
Most
What does he
likely
look?
not.
What does he
Probably
look like?
He's just like he had a beard, right? He was
Mhm.
a Viking dude with like bones in his armor and stuff.
Blonde hair.
You can't tell.
Yeah, he's got a
You can't
helmet,
tell.
right?
Yeah, he has a
Ah.
helmet made from a skull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's metal. But yeah, just something for consideration.
Was the planet named after him? Or...
I don't know for certain, but I would presume so, since he kind of was like died for the cause of defeating the Sith.
okay.
So like,
cool.
cool war hero, bro.
I have learned Star Wars lore today.
There will be more.
Oh yeah. But yes, back on the same subject of companion mods, one of my favorites is Bruce Hamar Legacy, which is it's nominally a companion mod, but it's really a massive quest mod.
Really?
Cool.
Very like fourth wall breaking, not at all lore friendly, but also slightly lore friendly because there's a lot of like throwbacks to Morrowind.
Oh, okay.
But also the companion you get has a spell where he shoots trains out of his hand.
Isn't there a mod?
I like
God, that's
isn't there a
amazing.
mod that like uses the
I was
Skyrim
going to say,
engine,
I like
engine
trains.
to make Morrowind?
Yes, Skywind, and I'm about to maybe.
And don't you need like the original like Morrowind game installed for that too?
Yes, same for. They also did more Oblivion, which is the same thing but on Oblivion's engine.
Cool. Yeah,
Um,
but Oblivion looked awful. So.
Yes, and I'm about to possibly make some people angry when I say I'm not going to bother with Skywind, because it's like, first of all, I don't particularly like the art direction that team's going with, but that's just personal taste. But it just seems like, you're trying to fix the flaw of Morrowind being old and not looking as great by porting it to, a more shallow engine. It just kind of misses the point. What a lot of people don't know about is another Morrowind project called OpenMW, which is basically remaking the Morrowind engine from scratch, but open source, and therefore much easier to mod. Like, some crazy stuff is gonna, be able to get done in Morrowind after this is complete. Now, it's probably a few years off, but they're making progress. And so, if you wanted to get OpenMW, but I don't know, mod. What's something that could be easily ported? Mod Dishonored gameplay into Morrowind.
Huh.
You could totally do that on OpenMW. It'd be a pain in the ass, but it's totally possible.
Well,
You can't do that on the original Morrowind engine.
Right. Oh, okay. So, because like they probably weren't anticipating, at
No,
the
obviously,
time.
yeah.
Do you think that based on your experience with all the mods, do you think that Bethesda was like, people are gonna mess around with this?
Oh, Bethesda is fantastic to the modding community because first of all, they make the games really easy to mod. They have a specialized file format, ESP, literally Elder Scrolls parts, I want to say. I'm showing my... I have to admit, I'm not really up on the very technical side of modding. I can make all 250 mods work together, but I can't, edit them at all, really.
Right.
But
Man, getting all those mods to work together is like a hassle.
Oh yeah, Boss helps.
So many things can go wrong. Boss definitely helps, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Bethesda is great to the modding community because they make the games really easy to mod. They provide a official construction kit and everything. And with Skyrim most recently, it's got their Steamworks community page, so you can download the mods directly through Steam.
But no one.
I don't do that
No one
because
does
it's.
that.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with the Steam Workshop community for Skyrim, at least. Steam Workshop has some good stuff for other games,
Mhm.
but man, it's just kind of mediocre in Skyrim.
Yeah. This is something I'm just not very well versed in, but I mean, I just know how much it can change the game and how much because people are always talking. It's like, oh, you play vanilla Skyrim, it's like, well, yeah, sure. I mean, but it's still a pretty fantastic game, vanilla. But fine, you get to add sprinkles.
Well,
Whatever.
I mean,
Your mom lets you get chocolate sauce. Fine, fuck you.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing with even other games though with official DLCs. I can't really speak for having played Skyrim modded, but I mean I've played a lot of Civ,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I got pretty decent with Civ, and then I got Gods and Kings, which added religion and it reorganized a lot of the tech tree and all that sort of thing, and it was just so drastically different a style of gameplay. I couldn't rely on the same exploits that I had relied on before to just wipe the ground with the blood of my fallen enemies. But I think that the mods do present a new avenue, and even just a new gaming experience for games, especially one as open world as Skyrim.
Yep. New dungeons, new companions, or if you're on the Skyrim Nexus, new boobs.
Well, things we all wish we had.
You keep bringing that up.
He speaks from experience.
Not really.
You say that,
but
it's hard to believe you.
I don't see the point.
Yeah.
Not huge on pixelated boobs.
You've obviously never played Tomb Raider.
You've missed out.
Those triangles, though.
Oh yeah. But I think that Bethesda just, they know their community.
Mm-hmm.
They just do. And I think that's really they know what I think is really, good about them is that they know there's going to be hardcore people who are going to go into this game. They're going to get 250 mods. Some are even going to just make the mods themselves and do crazy stuff like that. But they also know that they're going to have casual people who are just going to pick up the game.
And it's playable either way.
Right, or we keep on neglecting Fallout like nobody's
We
business.
do.
I
sorry.
know. I'm sorry.
I know.
enjoy Fallout.
I think that's mostly my fault
It's
because
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, but
We'll let you take the blame.
Fallout's got fantastic mods as well.
Oh yeah, and great DLC.
Oh my god.
The DLC for Fallout alone deserves awards.
My god. Fallout, like New Vegas, Dead Money deserves
Yeah.
like an Oscar. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but I really love that DLC.
Oh yeah.
It was New Vegas DLC. I thought it was standalone.
No.
Vegas is standalone, but he's
But
talking about the DLC for New Vegas.
I don't think I've played that.
Dead Money is pretty good. I've
Dude,
seen gameplay
you're-
of that. What's the one? Is it Pine Creek? What's the name with the one where you go to Grand Canyon?
Honest Hearts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've only played Anchorage.
Anchorage is for 3.
Yeah, but that's the only one I've played. So I.
What's the
There's
one in?
There's Broken Steel, I believe.
What's the one
Yeah.
in 3 where you get trapped in like the Matrix?
That's
Like,
Anchorage.
is that
Yeah,
no
I think
no
it's Anchorage.
no not Anchorage, not that one. It's where you.
There's
Or is-
Mothership Zeta and also the
It's
Pit.
not- It's not where you go. Oh wait, no, that might be a mission I'm thinking of where you
Might
go
be.
to like old timey.
Oh,
No, that's
yeah,
that-
that's
that's
the
the
mission
main-
where you find your father.
That's the main quest line. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the main quest line.
Sorry about
Which is a
that.
great mission, by the way.
That was a great mission.
Really interesting.
Liam Neeson's is my shit.
And then you like trap that person in that like make believe time like
Oh
forever.
my god,
It-
yeah, that's
You just felt like a dick, but then you realized he did the same. He tried to do the same to you. So
It all works out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about that one. You know what that reminds me a lot of, which is like totally like not something that I would usually think of. Black Ops, the one Nuketown.
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 Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of-
That
Well, yeah,
town
and-
really does.
And that's
is like
what it's.
that.
I think it like they both go for the same sort of thing where
Well, absolutely.
It's
they're
like that old
calling
time
for the
feeling.
like what is it 1950s
Yeah.
style,
Uh-huh.
Cold War.
Well, yeah. No, it just reminds me. It almost like I can almost like picture like the same like cul-de-sac, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But no.
That was a
What
that
I
was
was-
a really good quest line. I don't know why.
That
I'm
was
reiterating that.
you know that was a great main quest. That was
that definitely was a good.
that was a
main quest.
really good main quest.
I can't talk. I haven't finished Fallout 3.
Oh,
It didn't
man.
engage me anywhere near as much as New Vegas.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, New Vegas. I mean, also.
I played Fallout 3 first, so that's why I kind of like went.
I
through
played
it.
New Vegas first, so
I mean, but the other thing is that what I was saying before is that yes, they have Bethesda knows how to treat their more hardcore gamers, but they also know how to get the people who are more casual.
Yep.
Like oh man, like I can go for if in the instance of Fallout 3, it's like oh yeah, I want to mainly do like light guns or heavy guns or I want to sneak or I want to I want to be able to con people. I want to be able to steal things from people. Just like all this like minor customization stuff. That just like everybody likes to be able to do with their character. Just fun stuff like that. And or just like if they just want to see it as like a first person shooter with a hey actually has a story along with it.
What
Just-
I really want to see
What's that?
is like because we were
Great.
talking about like Oblivion before, and
Mhm.
like you compare that to Skyrim. Oblivion shit graphics comparatively, maybe like good for its time, but like it was not that great. I wanna see-
like technically it was alright. Like one of the first Xbox
Yeah.
360 games.
But Gears of War
but
2 was also one of the first.
That's
ones. It looked amazing.
That's true. But what I think you're going for is Oblivion had awful art direction.
Yeah. So if you looked at that, I mean, like Fallout wasn't that bad, but I wanted it to look like on that Skyrim scale, like you see like a post-apocalyptic like DC or like New Vegas, like it just wanted to see like even more realistic, like that'd be crazy to see.
Well, and the problem with that is that photorealism of that sort of thing is a lot harder to do than photorealism of nature because you
Oh,
can
that's true,
you can
yeah.
really you can go out and look at just mountains and forests and things.
Right, I don't
But
think Bethesda has the money to,
Like,
drop a nuke on
Yeah,
a
you don't-
city and be like, oh yes, let's
You
take all
don't,
of
you
this
don't drop
in.
a nuke on a city. You don't, you're not going to send your art direction team to some war-torn country. Like,
Bethesda goes to Chernobyl.
Oh my god.
oh, that'd be terrifying.
Oh my god, yes.
I actually want to play Fallout Chernobyl now. Can that be a game?
I think I'm not sure
I-
what's going on in Europe in Fallout.
I
we
bet
know-
there's a mod.
I don't know.
Maybe, who knows?
Possibly. That's an interesting thing with Fallout. We know China's a glowing crater, and we know the U.S. is kind of slowly recovering.
Ish.
Hey, that's one kind of big problem I had with Fallout 3, in that it doesn't feel like 200 years after the bombs fell. It feels like maybe 20.
Wait, what is the status of the rest of the? I would.
Nobody. I don't think they state like what's going on in
Mm-mm.
Europe or like Africa or anything.
Well, I mean, there's
but
no
Asia
reason.
is just like gone.
There's
China's
no,
a crater.
There's no reason
Damn.
people would really even know about Europe if they've lived in the vaults for
Yeah.
their lives. Especially
true.
if they
It's
don't
very
have,
isolated.
especially if they don't have like, extensive history programs, which I doubt.
So that'd
they
be really cool if they took it from that aspect, like to see it in the European side. Or
Oh,
like,
yeah. I mean, the most far-reaching thing we have right now is the Brotherhood of Steel.
I mean, it would be
Um,
interesting. It'd be interesting, or like at least add some concept art
Like
or something like that. I don't know.
Like on one hand, I'm curious, but on the other hand, Fallout is tied so much into like Americana.
No, that's definitely
Right,
true.
and
yeah.
that's why I think that I have like a special place in my heart for that,
Mhm.
because I'm American history, like that's what I do.
I
I'm
mean,
a big
Well, but I
dumb
think
nerd.
it would be so cool to see the opposite side of like Soviet Cold War
Well, but
nationalism.
But the Fallout universe, like, it's not post Cold War. It's like the Soviet Union wasn't involved in the big nuclear shit flinging that destroyed the Fallout universe. It
Right.
was the U.S. and China.
Yeah, you see, I'm not that immersed into this actual storyline too well.
Hey man, don't you remember what's his face, Liberty Prime? My mission is to annihilate any and all Chinese communists.
Oh,
I do not recall that.
That.
It's been too long.
No, but
I haven't
mean,
played this
you
game
could
in so
still,
long.
it would still apply at least somewhat to
Wait, is that New Vegas
to
3?
China.
3. Liberty Prime, the giant laser
3.
string
Oh,
robot.
3,
yeah, dude. Oh my god, it's literally been years since I've played that game.
So
Oh
it's
my
been so
God.
long.
It's been I think it's been like 3 to 4 years since I played that game.
Mm.
Oh my god, I'm old.
Well, on the note of long times, I think we've been at it for about an hour.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
So, signing off for the Midnight Crew, Nordy J.
Brian.
Joe.
And Tito. And as the ancient Hawaiians used to say,
The ending of the words is Om Sivi.
Thanks for listening to Late Night Gaming Thought with the Midnight Crew. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and leave comments or topic suggestions wherever you go. You can email us at latenightgamingthought@gmail.com. Thanks again, and tune in next week.